Next up is the much-awaited AI panel. We're diving into the world of agentic AI with a panel of pioneers, moderated by Danielle Tigner, CEO and founder of the Blue Source. This discussion features Harpreet from ICA, exploring intelligent knowledge agents, Justin, VP of Gaming, Virtuous Protocol, Vader, founder of Vader AI, delving into AI-driven virtual environments, and Artak from ChainGPT, integrating AI with blockchain for smarter contract interactions. Together, they'll unpack how autonomous agents are reshaping the decentralized landscape. Get ready for a powerful conversation. Let's bring them on stage with a huge round of applause.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming back. And we apologize for a little delay, but happily, we're all here right now. So the panel is dedicated to Agentic AI, as Aaron just announced. And I want to share that in February, we had this discussion with Harpreet. We were also expecting virtuals, but you guys couldn't make it. We had the discussion in Hong Kong in another event. And we were talking about agents, like what one agent could do and how we define agentic AI and all kind of other questions. And in the end of the panel, the panelists, and Harpreet was one of them, told me, Danielle, it's not about an agent anymore. You know, it has evolved. We're talking about multitude of agents. So I promised that the next panel, this is what we're going to discuss. And the question goes to you, Harpreet. Can you cover a little bit the transition from working on one agent to working on multitude, on an ecosystem of decentralized agents? The mic is right there. So we have 2 mics here to share.
Mic test. Hi. First of all, thank you. Thank you for having us on this panel and bringing back the discussion, right, that we had in Hong Kong previously. So getting back into the field of agents and agentic itself, today, we are looking at this shiny new ecosystem that is emerging. But in research, it's been there for a very long time, where we've been talking about where intelligent agent ecosystems or agentic ecosystems are able to solve things on our behalf or do things on our behalf, where we are able to delegate to computer systems to solve our daily challenges. Like today, people are running out of attention span. We have so many apps to deal with, so many works to deal with, so many, computer systems to manage. Can't we just have something to help us automate things? Some agents to help us with our daily task? Once we move on that phase, the next phase will be can we rely on robotics to, even simplify other parts of our life? So that was a lot of the elements in research. So every field, right, we have to test it on the, the less risky approach first. Like today, asking a bunch of questions to an LLM doesn't hurt anybody. So it's simple, right? People can try. It's low-hanging fruit. You can, execute those side of tasks. But asking an agent to move your finance or managing your finance and your portfolio is a much riskier positioning, right? So when we talk about DeFi AI or you talk about decentralized finance, agentic finance per se, there's a lot more challenges there. But at the same time, when you look into, in a perspective, how even humanization evolved over the years, right? Looking into when we were doing things on our own, when we were trying to survive on our own in the forest, for example, and then we tried to become in the hunter-gatherer approach, and then we went into civilization, and then we went into globalization. How much have we progressed, right? Where we relied on other people's expertise, talent, resources, growth to actually push our industries or our economy or our civilization further as well, and a global civilization as whole. So imagine the same concept. What can an individual agent do? What are the individual agents' benefits and strengths? But when it goes in multi-agents, it becomes even bigger. Now every agent is able to do something specific, right? Let's say there's a expert DeFi AI agent, but let's say there is even more specific. Let's say one is specialized just in Bitcoin financing. Maybe one is specialized just in Ethereum tokens, right? So you can break it down in many categories for each of the domains, and it exponentially grows like the whole ecosystems, the intelligence in the ecosystem, the automations in the ecosystem. And I think we are just in the very beginning part of it. There will come a day where we sit down here and like an agent is managing a big part of our life and we can delegate to it and wake up in the morning where we don't have to worry about getting our coffee or breakfast or like getting your car to your work. It's all done, right? You just execute on things that creates best value and focus on maybe doing something good. Yeah.
I like it. Of course, there are all kinds of risks that come in attached, but this is a separate subject. So the next thing that I wanted to ask you guys, and this is a question to both of you, Vader and Justin. When we talk about autonomy of agents or autonomy of agentic AI, another dimension is predictability. So how do you manage that today in applications that you guys have developed? Where do you put the stop? Where you see that the agent is doing something wrong? How do you basically rectify that?
Sure. So we put in, I'll give you an example. We used to run an investment agent. And with an investment agent, things can go wrong very quickly. Number one, the agent can make a huge trade that is terrible and can make us broke immediately. So, simple. We just put in some guardrails, like if formulas, to prevent that. But I think if we're considering more like LLMs that are speaking, that are chatting, you don't want them to say some unethical stuff, or you don't want them to talk about certain stuff, or like, some LLMs that are developed in certain countries might also even get political, that they don't talk about certain stuff.
A bit of a censorship, it sounds.
Yeah. Us builders, we usually put in the guardrails to prevent them. And I think though, like, what's a bigger problem is, number one is you don't want the agent to do specific things. You can write negative prompts and you can prevent some stuff. But the more rules you put in, the less independent and creative the agent becomes. So there is a trade-off between, like hallucinations and fine-tuning. On the other hand, I do think it's really important to provide labeled data, meaning if you want the agent to do a certain thing well, and if you want the agent to do it in this way rather than that way, like you would need to train the agent with that data and fine-tune that. Yeah, anything you want to add?
Thank you. Yeah, Justin.
I think for me, I'd like to add on the protocol end. I think that as a builder like Vader, he's more expert in making sure that the agent doesn't break. I'm not the CTO of Virtuals, I'm actually the VP of Gaming. So I think if you guys have seen the phases of Virtuals, we came from a application, meaning that anyone can just launch an agent. There was no bonding curve in the version 1. Then later on, we had version 2, where there is bonding curve, and Vader is the first one who graduated from the bonding curve, if I recall correctly.
Correct.
Yeah. And then third, we have launched our Genesis version, whereby instead of a bonding curve, you can just insert virtual tokens and points. And if it doesn't hit the contribution required, you'll be refunded the same amount as you've inserted. So there's no PvP before the launch. So it creates a more fair user experience for everyone. And yeah, I think that's something that we are gut railing on our side to ensure that it's not a degen thing. I mean, in Web3 it's all about degen, but we try to protect our users as much as possible. And we did compensate certain exploits as well, because we understand that user experience for everyone is the utmost important for us. Yep.
Thank you. So question for you, Artak, more about infrastructure. So I know that ChangeGPT has announced that you guys building some AI infrastructures and you're going to be focusing a lot on AI. So can you share what you guys have been doing lately?
Sure, thanks for asking. So basically, we've built an infrastructure. We built an Web3 native LLM model that is doing not general search or general languages about like everything around, but it's more concentrated, focused on the Web3 stuff, on the token stuff, and so on. And using this LLM model, we created different SDKs, APIs for any AI company or AI agents that can work with. So currently we even provide grants for it, and people can use it to create their own NFT builders with it. So like it's a picture generation with putting it in the right smart contract. We have SDKs for smart contract audits. So basically AI agents that is doing just smart contract audits, it will make the audit, like security part of the company, much more cheaper than it should be. So different kind of stuff we have. We have a chatbot that is also working. So basically, company can integrate it into their project, and users will be able to ask questions about the product, and there would be answers from the crypto perspective. So that's basically what.
So you're basically building a suite, like an AI suite for people to onboard.
You're right. I even will say it's more like an infrastructure part for any other projects that is building in AI stuff, Web3 AI, to utilize it and get their users to work with it.
Got it. Thank you. So I was looking for someone who could give an input on AI launchpads, and I understood that Peter, you can help us with that.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
AI launchpads.
Sure.
Where do we stand?
I think Justin also gave a great brief. The biggest problem right now with launchpads in general, not AI or agents, is so right now we have fair launches which are popular, right? Something like Pump.fun. You go out there, you launch a token, you buy some of that token yourself, and then the token is out there. And what usually happens is that the moment the token is launched, snipers snipe it out, buy it, before anyone else can buy it. Now, if this is a random token that you're not gonna continue, there's no problem. It's a loss of snipers. But if it's a real project that there's a team behind it and people wanna build something long term, it is a problem. And the main problem here is, let's say Project X, right? Project X, the fair value of Project X, let's say in all of us, our consensus is, we think that this is worth, $500,000 market cap. And if it's below that number, we're happy to invest. If it's above, we'll think about it. At that point, let's say a token is launching and we are not able to get in at 500,000 market cap, we get in at 2 million. People who get in at 500,000 or even below that are snipers. And snipers just get in and then flip. Like, they don't add any value to neither projects, investors, anyone. So I think, so Virtuals has a new launchpad design which solves this problem in a way that anyone, if they have points, which is like more detailed, but anyone can invest at $120K market cap. And the token is launched at 360,000 market cap. So immediately you're in the money, like you start with 3x. So it doesn't make sense for a sniper to get in and snipe. And even if they do, the pre-sale investors will always be getting in at an earlier valuation than the snipers. So happy to get into more details, but just wanted to say that I think that's a huge revolution, number one. And number two, a lot of the launch pads are just for meme coins and rock projects, and that's a huge problem. If, I always see crypto as an alternative funding option. If you don't want to go to VCs and you want to crowdsource whatever you're building, it's a great option. However, like, Pump.fun is where the liquidity is at right now, and you cannot raise there as a legit team. You need to come up with a meme coin or something that is trendy, something that's not going to live long. So I do think we need more launchpads that embrace utility projects.
Cannot agree more. Thank you. Going back to some of the technical aspects, Harpreet, with you, there is a bit of a issue with data formatting and standards when agents are using all kind of different platforms and infrastructures. Any inputs on that?
I think going towards the future, right? I think the next programming language is English, right? Today, you can see
Not
LLMs.
Chinese.
Yeah, I mean, even for example, that's where in the Western world, in the Western sphere is where a lot of the innovation is happening. Language will become the programming language, if we want to put it together. Where today, coding, like it's getting, where you're vibe coding and you're like coding less and less, it's more you just need to have the knowledge to understand that it's doing the right thing and this is how it should perform. It execute the right thing, you execute it, right? At the same time, when you talk about communication between agents, right? Previously, we relied on an architecture where we had to API, we had to have like specific standards, and we started going towards open standards. And now, except you're dealing with legacy systems, right? You don't require that. When you're dealing with, I think the communication is going to move towards where systems, websites, applications, servers will have their own agentic interface, right? Where you can have an agent who manages the data, protects the data, because it gives it more autonomy, right? When you call for an API, it can be anybody calling in. But when you have an agent there, it can actually check, right? Is this person malicious? Is he doing something wrong, right? It also adds other level of security, also complexity, I will say, a bit of delay maybe, but at the same time, it improves communications in the outside world. In terms of communication standards, I think we're going to see a shift, right? In terms between how agentic and agents are going to communicate compared to how traditionally we've been coding applications for server applications or traditional computer applications. And not only that, we are at a point of big user behavior change as well, right? Today, we are like glued to our phones. We have to keep seeing notifications after notification, replying, typing, right? Communication will be the future where we actually can just hear out, somebody can type the text on our behalf, or maybe communicate on our behalf and execute tasks on our behalf. So today the interface is still a bit boring. We still have to go type it down into a chat prompt. But as that improves, as speech to text recognition improves, it gets better, right? So, the future movies that we keep seeing that people are just wearing headset and doing all their work in their life, I think it's not very far away from now. And all the technologies that are needed to build that future is getting ready, yeah.
Thank you. That's a promising future. So we have covered quite a few subjects. We need to look into gaming as well. So I was going to ask you just on the word is that you guys launching a game very soon and how the game is going to look like when the game is made by agents.
Okay, what we're experimenting now is what we call modular NPC, modular AI agent for NPCs. So what we mean by modular is that we can plug this agent into like Roblox, but at the same time we can also plug it into like Sandbox. So one agent that we're experimenting is a hide and seek. Put it in simple terms is that these agents are given like 10 different locations, and the reward they can select from the libraries that are given by the developers as well. So the agent will also learn like, is it like hard for people to find me? If it is, then maybe you stick to the same location first. But it gets easier, it might move one location away in a random out of 10, because it is able to read the map, right? It can determine the coordinates, like a very unused coordinates or stuff like that. So yeah, that's one very simple modular agent that we're doing. We also have like, we're building what we call basically a pet that follows you around, because our framework, the virtual GAME framework, is able to perceive the environment. It can know that whether you're dying often, like what weapon are you using. It can recommend you an item. So that's what we expect to drive the revenue up for the developers. And all the other agents are also complementing to drive up the AU, all the gaming metrics that we can think of. So that one will be parked under Ready Gamer, so which is a JV between virtuals and also sovereign. Yep.
So this is the multitude of agents in action in gaming, right? Very good, thank you. So we have covered data, we have covered from agent to multitude of agents, covered launchpads, all kind of gaming. Now, there's one subject that many people would like to hear about, and that's for you, Artak. And this is a very short input on you are looking a lot into investments.
Right.
Right. So could you give us insights on what are you investing in right now with everything you have heard on the panel and everything that you see every day with DEX and else?
So I'm currently mostly looking at the projects that simplify human work with DeFi. So it's called usually DeFi. I really want to find the working products that would be so. As for now, what do we need to do to make like a bridge from Ethereum to BNB chain or anything else? Like we need to go to bridge, we need to buy like the native token of the chain. We need to like go to some DeFi app and like everything like that is very, very complicated and will take some time even to do. So, or use a centralized exchange, right? It's also quite an easy.
I'm happy that I'm not only the only one challenged with that. Thank you.
Yeah, and we see quite a few projects building already such kind of solution like Griffin AI and others that you can just type like I want to swap my Ethereum from this chain to another and stake, and it will find the best, the most like cheapest way to bridge it, the DeFi application with the most high yields generated, and will do everything by yourself. So that you just need to tell what you want to do. So and recently, like I remember Outlier Ventures, I think they posted about the like narrative of post-web. It's like the new after-web.
James' favorite, yeah, he's promoted it.
Yeah, he's promoting a lot, and I love it, like because I see that soon we will be able to work, like agents will be able to do everything in internet for us, and I'm looking at that kind of agents, AI agents, and that would make our life easier.
Makes sense. Thank you for sharing. So to wrap it up, just one last blitz question, like really short answers, if I can ask. I'm checking. I mean, I think we can do it really, really quick. So if everyone could say like just a short sentence of what excites you right now. What is the most exciting thing in AI for you?
I think for me, because I'm building in the AI X gaming intersection, I believe that AI gaming would be might be the next meta in Web3 as well, right? Currently, we are building more on the Web2 side because there's a lot of active users. We can experiment there more. But I'm sure later on there might be, who knows, gaming agent launchpad or something like that we're trying to build in the future. Yeah.
Thank you.
For me personally, I think LLMs are getting better and better. So it's no agenda, just personally. I love I'm playing with them and they're able to do much more, much more. And I think soon we're going to be able to integrate them into our, like for example, you go outside and walk around, not during the day, but in the evening in Dubai, and ask GPT, okay GPT, where should I go for dinner? Where should I walk? It can't tell you, or it will tell you something, but it asks your location first because it's not even connected to Google Maps or Apple Maps. So it gives you a very blind information, even though we already have a lot of tech possible. We just don't have the integrations. So that's what I'm personally excited about.
I recommend to go to Dubai Mall, best air conditioning. Thank you. Go ahead, Harpreet.
Yeah, I believe a decentralized, intent-driven, multi-agent system is the future, right? So basically, it has to be decentralized because we do not want it to be fully centrally controlled and your data be handed over to, some centralized regime, right? To controlling all the data. It has to be user intent-driven, so in this case, based on what user wants to execute, where you're able to delegate your actions and activities, right? Multi-agents, because a single agent can only do much. When you put it into an agentic economy, it grows. It is able to do a lot more execution. And it also will require its own financial, economical principle. That's the reason one of the main reasons why I got into blockchain, because I knew that this might be the best way of implementing the financial models and securing it. behind the agent economy. So those are very forward-looking, futuristic things, right? That it might sound alien today, but it'll happen in the next few years. Because as computing power gets better, as LLMs get better, as all the agentic AI models get better, camera technology gets better, all of them are like kind of exponentially pushing this reality to come from. So with that.
Thank you. I love the intent part. So, Artak, for you?
So I will say I agree with all of
Sure.
the panel.
All of them
yeah.
are amazing.
Yeah, and I love AI agents in NPCs. Like I love gaming, and I hope we will see the time where like we're talking with like NPCs, and it would be crazy. So, but how I said, like mostly I'm more focused on a way of Dev AI, so making this kind of DeFi life easier for people. And like if we're putting Web3 away, of course, the AI agents that are providing opportunity to develop, like Cursor, is also something like it's a no-brainer. Like who will imagine 10 years ago that it would be possible? Like when people currently can create $1 billion companies already, just one founder. So that's crazy.
It's true. The innovation has been impressive in this field. Very, very accelerated. So thank you all so very much for coming today and for sharing your insights, looking from completely different angles. I hope that it was very insightful and useful for the audience. Thank you all for coming and listening to our talk. Thanks.